What's going on, world? This is your boy Reggie Walker. The wait is over. Welcome to the first edition of the Family Meeting Podcast presents 100 Yards and Running. This your boy Reggie Walker. I got two co-hosts joining me. We're going to get right into it. So let's bring on my brother from Houston and my brother from Detroit. Bring on my brother August Stevens.
What up? What up?
What's going on, brother?
What's going
And my
on,
brother
man?
from another mother in Detroit. Let's break him on. My brother Chaos. What's going on?
What's going
How
on,
y'all doing? How
everyone?
y'all fellas doing? How y'all fellas doing? Let's jump right into it this evening. Man, what a week one we had in the NFL. Let's dive into it. Thursday night, we had the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs taking on Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Here are my thoughts on this game. This game was a nail biter. It sucked how it ended because I felt that Lamar and the Ravens, every time they get close to Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, they always get to that slump, that one little slump. But then it's like they can't get over the Mahomes factor. Fellas, what do y'all think about this game?
Hey, man. Listen. uh, the Ravens, Lamar Jackson. Every team has its curse, right? Every team has that one huddle that it can't seem to jump over. And for the Ravens, that's Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, man. I mean, listen, they went and got that rookie receiver. What's his name? Chaos.
Uh, ah, I can't
Xavier
even think straight
Worthy
right
or
now.
something like that.
Yeah,
Xavier Worthy.
Yes,
Xavier
that
Worthy.
guy, man. When I tell you he is a younger, faster Tyreek Hill, and
Mm.
you think how can anyone be faster than Tyreek Hill? That is possible. That kid has hands, he has speed, and nobody on the Ravens could touch him. And unfortunately for the Ravens, their O line had trouble. Lamar Jackson, he's starting to look like a one trick pony, and they were just ready for him, man.
Brother
Mm.
Chaos, what's your thoughts on this game, brother?
That game had me at the edge of my seat because I said to myself, can Baltimore finally break the curse? Can they get revenge for the AFC Championship last season? Because of someone's toe on the line, out of there. Baltimore has to wait until the AFC Championship again. Mm.
Getting back to
They
that
done that.
toe play, not to cut you off, brother. Getting back to that
Oh.
toe play. That play, it could have went either way. Lamar Jackson had two chances, two,
Yeah,
Hmm.
to score. He had a wide open Zay Flowers cutting from the slant route.
yes, he
You
did.
see
Hmm.
this man running that route. You do your little thing. The man is wide open. How do you miss a pass like that is beyond me. I don't get that.
That is what I'm saying when I say Lamar Jackson, he's a one trick pony. Yes, you have to worry about him running out of the backfield. Yes, he can throw a deep ball. But other than that, that dissecting the defense, that if a defense, honestly, to stop him, all you have to do is run a 3-4 defense. He can't stop it. There's nothing he can do because he's a one trick pony.
Let me add on to that. Lamar had over 200 yards rushing, correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Why did you sign Derrick Henry then?
I got
That's
the answer. I got the answer.
because hold on. But I say that because I watched through the second quarter. Every other snap, Lamar was running,
Mhm.
Right.
and I'm like, okay, what that tells me is you don't trust your line enough to block for you to be able to give you time to find a target. If you can't find a target, You got a 6'4", 260-pound running back that reminds me of Christian Okoye from the '80s. That'll just steamroll through everybody because once he gets that full head of steam, you're gonna have to catch up trying to tackle him. Why is it that he had under 200 yards rushing, but the quarterback had over 200 rushing?
Over 200
He
rushing.
wasn't sacking him.
Why did you
Yeah.
sign Derrick Henry in the first
Why was he
place?
signed
I
there?
agree with that.
I can tell you why they signed Derrick Henry, in my opinion, to be a decoy, because you really got to worry about big ass Derrick Henry busting through the line and needing three or four guys to tackle him. You know what I'm saying? And if your attention is on that, then they're thinking Lamar Jackson can pull off and go, to the left, to the right, wherever he decides to run. And that's the problem. He's
Yeah.
a one-trick pony. He cannot pass the ball as well as maybe some others may have thought.
You got a 180-pound quarterback willing to take on 260-pound nose tackles and linebackers trying to run the ball forward, whereas you got a horse in Derrick Henry that they would rather much try to deal with Lamar to try to take on him because all he gonna do is get out my way.
Get out my way is right.
Give give Derek the ball and let him earn his paycheck. If you a quarterback, be a quarterback. If you want to be something else, get the ball to somebody else. Get a
Ravens
playbook to
fans,
somebody else.
Ravens fans, you didn't sign this 265-pound running back and Derrick Henry for nothing. Use him. Moving on. Friday night, we had a nail biter between the newly acquired Saquon Barkley and the Eagles. He should have stayed in the Giants, but that's their fault.
Hmm.
We had Saquon Barkley and the Eagles taking on Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. What are your guys' thoughts on this game?
Saquon Barkley was exactly what we thought he was his entire time. He's a monster. He's a beast. And the Eagles are benefiting greatly from having him in the backfield. Um, Look, the Eagles, they seem to be a team that is an all-star team. They seem to be that one team that they just grab everyone they could grab, assemble them on one team, Avengers assemble, and we're going to go and do this thing. Why? Because our quarterback isn't all that. I hate to say that, but it's true. But it reminds me of the New York Jets of the 2009, 2010 era with Mark Sanchez. They had everybody around him. LaDainian Tomlinson, they had the Brickashaw Ferguson, they had all these guys, but their quarterback was a problem. And I really feel like that's why the Eagles have not been able to be successful with Jalen Hurts.
Well, the Packers, Jordan Love was 17 for 34, 260 yards, two touchdowns, one pick. Jalen Hurts was 20 out of 34 for 278, two TDs, two picks. But the story of the game was Mr. Barkley, who had 24 carries, had 109 yards, and ran for two scores. He averaged 4.5 yards per carry. Now, looking at that and looking at the Packers rushing, Jacobs didn't even get 100 yards.
No,
That tells you right there that Green Bay needs to, and I know I'm gonna have a lot of Green Bay people coming from my head for this because half of my family are Packers fans. Game film is very important. Y'all need to run drills because this rushing here, this is horrible. This is horrible. Running backs are one of the key points, key positions of the game. Saquon Barkley ran circles around y'all. Y'all need to get that together.
Indeed.
For real.
Indeed, he did. Losing Jordan Love in that game,
Oh.
what do you see Green Bay doing? And the results show that he's going to be out for 3 to 5 weeks, maybe more.
Ooh.
so
Do you guys see Green Bay at least winning a couple of these games? I mean, looking at their schedule, they got a pretty tough schedule. They got a pretty tough schedule. And without Jordan Love, What do you see them doing without their number one quarterback?
I'm gonna be honest, and y'all might disagree with me. I think the Packers may be in a better position without Jordan Love. Let me explain. They want to sell this story that he's the next best thing. There was Favre, there was Rodgers, and then there's Love, right? But if you go back even 2 years ago, they were talking about trading this man and to keep Aaron Rodgers. That is, and it failed. It fell through. You know what I mean? So now they're trying to boost his head up. They're trying to let everybody know, nah, he's really the guy, yada, yada, yada. I don't believe that with him, they were going to be much better than without him. So they can probably get a backup quarterback to do just as good, if not better than Jordan Love.
Green Bay is in a rebuilding phase right now because of the loss of Aaron Rodgers. Because like every other quarterback Green Bay has had in the past few seasons, they want to build the team around their quarterback. That's all well and good. But in this
Yep.
case, your backup quarterback is Willis. What is the offensive coordinator and head coach going to do with this kid? Because Jordan's going to be on the sidelines with what was it, a torn meniscus?
Torn meniscus.
Yep.
Torn meniscus. So let's just say 4 to 6 weeks. In these 4 to 6 weeks, looking at Green Bay's schedule, it ain't pretty. It
It
ain't
ain't.
pretty at all.
Not at
Let's
all.
see what we got here. Let's see. They got the Colts Sunday, but they come to Lambeau. They may take that one. Then they have to go to Tennessee. They're going to struggle with that one.
Yep.
Then the
That's
Vikings come to Lambeau on the 29th. The game, the game that's going to be the problem for them. October 6th when they go to LA. That's going to be a problem for them. Now,
yeah.
hopefully, there's a possibility that they may have Jordan back. We don't know. But for right now, they're back to the drawing board with this backup quarterback. He's going to have to learn the plays. He's going to have to run drills. He's going to have to get better with his touches, his aim, his timing, reading the lines, all of that. He's going to have to do all of this before Sunday. Can he do it? We'll see.
Good question to one of our viewers, Tori. They asked Lamar Jackson or Michael Vick.
Michael Vick all
My
day, every
take,
Vic
day.
all
my
day.
take, it would be Michael Vick all day.
All day.
Why?
Vic.
Because Michael Vick was one of those special talented quarterbacks. He was a
Man.
quarterback that nobody thought would make it that far. Look at what the man did for the Falcons.
Look,
This man
Vick,
scrambled. This man ran when he had to. The man was a touchdown machine when needed to be. The Falcons didn't win a championship that year, but they had a quarterback they could believe in and trust in Michael Vick.
let me
And
tell
let me
you,
tell
He
let
was
you,
me
a
tell you
master of the
something.
bootleg. He was a master of the
Michael
bootleg. I know that much.
Michael Vick was that guy for not only the Falcons, but he sat out for 2 years, went to jail, came back and played for the Eagles and got another $100 million
and got
bag.
another 100 million.
Why? He replaced Donovan McNabb. Kevin Cobb was supposed to be the guy, but he wasn't the guy. And Michael Vick came in and showed everybody who he was and what he was made of. That is a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna have a quarterback that can scramble around and do all this stuff, you get a quarterback like Vic. Because at the same
Get a
time,
quarterback
he
like Michael Vick. Michael
he
Vick
had an
was that
arm.
guy.
He had an arm at the same time.
Yes,
You
he
know what I
did.
mean? So
Oh man. Like if Vic got open, he was just so smooth with it. He just cracked his arm and then next thing you know, that ball was going about 40, 50 yards.
easy, easy.
And then also with Mike, the one thing I loved about Mike was bottom line, he was he was the master. Like I said, he was the master of the bootleg. You never know when he was
Yes, he
gonna run it.
was.
It was one it was one sequence against I believe it was the Packers when they were at Georgia Dome. Yeah, that's how you how old I am. Back at the Georgia Dome. All
Talk
four
about it.
like the whole sequence, the whole scoring drive. Three out of
Mm-hmm.
them four down, 3 out of them 4 downs, they was on the comeback trail. 3 out of them 4 downs, he ran bootleg, averaged 15 yards per bootleg. I'm like, who gonna stop him?
Yep.
Who gonna stop him? One of the best ones in the game. Swear to God.
Moving on back to the AFC, we had the Cardinals and the Bills, where the Buffalo Bills defeated the Arizona Cardinals with a score of 34-28.
Let me.
Now let me talk about Josh Allen for a minute. I see a lot of Eagles fans and fly Eagles fly. Bird gang in here.
Bird
You
game.
know, I'll sis, what's
Yeah.
up, Fee? She says fly Eagles fly.
Okay.
I'm personally a
Okay.
Jet fan, but fly Eagles fly anyway. But
Yeah.
let's get back to Buffalo and the Cardinals. Josh Allen,
Mm-hmm.
to me, is one of the elite quarterbacks that's overrated. And here's why.
Mm.
Here's why. Here's why I say that.
Mm.
With the talent that Josh Allen has around him, with the talent that he had last year and this year, losing Stephon Diggs, losing guys like Gabe Davis,
Mm-hmm.
losing even guys on a running back position, and Devin Singletary, who's now a New York Giant, which we will get on later in the show. But Josh Allen, to me, he's on the wrong team.
Listen,
Mm.
listen. Josh Allen, unfortunately, right now, I don't know if it's a Buffalo Bill curse or whatever. He reminds me of Jim Kelly. Jim Kelly
Mm.
and the Bills went to four back Super Bowls and lost all of them. And that's the same thing, the same energy I feel with Josh Allen. He's a great quarterback, but I believe, like you said, he's probably in the wrong team with the wrong system. Look, man, it's not too much more that he could do. He's improved from those first couple of years. He jumped. You seen it, like the progressions. You saw all of that. But now it's like he's stagnant. And it's like the games that matter, like when you face a Joe Burrow, when you face Justin Herbert, or when you're going against Patrick Mahomes, he can barely pull it out. And I honestly don't believe it's him. I believe it's the people around him.
Josh Allen is missing Diggs real bad. Because looking at these stats, he missing Diggs. And the sad part about that was before Diggs got the call that he was going to Houston. What happened?
Mhm.
Oh, before they thought. I mean, everybody thought they was boys.
I mean, Justin, you
Josh,
do it. You just my boy Justin said it best. Josh Allen has the Rich Gannon disease, and I believe that
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
oh, that hurt.
because that
Oh,
was
that
another
hurt.
talented quarterback in Rich Gannon that had talent
Oh,
around him and did nothing with it.
oh, oh, that hurt. He hit us with Rich. Oof, oofa. Dang,
Staying in the
dang.
AFC, and this was a defensive game to me and a shocker to me, where we have a Bill Belichick-less New England Patriot team that defeated Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals with the score of 16-10. Fellas, talk to me.
you know what it
Was
is.
this the first? Was this the first game with post Belichick?
Listen, no, it wasn't the first game. But
It
listen,
wasn't the
Oh,
first.
their
oh.
head coach Mayo, right? We
Mm.
A
all
former
know,
Patriot.
he was defensive, all pro guy. He should be a Hall of Famer, right? So what happens? They're not going to be an offensive team. They're going to do what he knows best, and that's play defense. And the
And
Patriots,
play defense
and
indeed
look,
is what the
and look,
Pats did.
and look, when you have a quarterback like Matt Jones, I mean, you know, it's necessary. It's very necessary.
Yeah. I have no comment on this one. I'm just surprised that New England won. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm just surprised they won because honestly, Belichick was there. Belichick was a staple there for so many years. When he left, I'm like, oh, New England's done. Because, think about it. When you've been somewhere for so long, what are you used to?
Wait, let me stop. Belichick was not the staple. Tom Brady was the staple.
We're talking
And
about
we
coaches right now, though.
and we can get into why Tom Brady is not the GOAT that everybody thinks he is. But he's think about it like this. Brady left because he played the game smartly and won another
Mhm.
championship. Belichick rode off into the sunset. What does that tell you? You know what I'm saying? That tells me that Tom Brady was the reason. He was the thought process. He was everything. I mean, if you want to talk about the man was even deflating footballs to
And I was just about to get to that. I was just about to get to that. The
Oh,
deflation. Most
yes.
oh,
people,
Deflate Gate.
what's going on, Family Meeting Podcast? Shout out to the Family Meeting Podcast.
Shout out to Ian. What's going on,
But
baby?
the deflation in New England.
Yes.
Everybody was talking about, oh, New England shouldn't have won those championships because of the deflation. Most people say, oh, Brady didn't deserve it. He didn't earn it. New England was a bunch of cheaters.
They
They
were.
cheated to win a Super Bowl.
They
What
did.
are your thoughts on that?
You don't want to hear
Um,
thoughts on that. That could be a whole
um,
separate podcast, but
honestly, honestly, I believe Deflate Gate was during the season where they allegedly took out the 72 Dolphins undefeated record.
Right.
Um,
yeah,
if you look, I believe if you look up on NFL.com the old records, I believe there's an asterisk by that record.
yeah.
I believe that it is.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't
Um,
trying. That's true.
But
well,
listen, man.
well, well. I was gonna say this. Seeing as that my my favorite college team has been accused of cheating, I can pretty much relate to the cheating thing as far as New England goes. you know, Connor Stallings. But anyway, back on point. I did they cheat? They probably did. They probably did. I mean, has there been evidence to state that? Has
Yes,
there
there
been some
was.
raw? There
Yes, there
Yes.
was.
was. There
Okay,
Yes.
was
so
evidence. There was evidence
but
more than one time.
More than
right,
once.
but did Roger Goodell do anything
No,
about it?
don't listen. Don't do that.
That's a
Don't
whole nother
mention
issue. That's a
don't
whole nother
mention
Mhm.
story.
Roger Goodell to me because Roger Goodell, he's not the guy that everybody thinks he is. Okay, I know this from personal experience. That guy is a living piece of shit. Like, let's just call it what it is. You
I
know, and
agree. I wholeheartedly
Moving
agree.
on from that piece
Okay.
of shit, Roger Goodell. This one is going to hurt so many New York Giant fans' hearts. And as much
Oh,
as it
here we
did,
go.
some of my family members are Giants fans. Shout out to the Walkers. I'm sorry. But the New York Giants got destroyed by the Minnesota Vikings with the score of 28-6. Let me
Wait,
start this off. Let me
they
start
did.
this off.
Go ahead.
go ahead.
New York, Daniel Jones is not the quarterback for y'all.
Mm-mm.
Here's why. You have a coach and Brian Dable, a defensive minded coach, might I add, and Brian Dable, who came over here to try to change the culture of what they're saying in New York. Keeping a guy like Danny Dimes, some people might call him, I call him Danny Trash, because he hasn't
Mm.
proven a damn thing to me since he's been drafted to the Giants. You have a running back and Saquon Barkley, who I would have paid to stay in your organization, and you let him fly Eagles fly, to Philadelphia and be the dynamic back that y'all know Saquon can be. But you signed Daniel Jones
Yep.
and you let go Saquon Barkley. I get that you are trying to work on your defense. I get that when you signed Burns from Carolina, when you drafted these rookies, and even you went up or trying to go up in the draft. My boy said, Kareem, thank you for Barkley. Giants fans sometimes disgust me because here's why.
Mm-hmm. That man
Since Eli Manning, and this was the only quarterback that won a Super Bowl in the Giants era since Phil Simms. Am I correct?
Yep.
You have these players on offense and defense that you are signing to your team. You pay your quarterback, Daniel Trash, all of this money to stink up MetLife Stadium? Are you kidding me? Giants fans, I'm sorry. Your quarterback stinks. Your team is trying, but I don't see the Giants having a successful season with Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes, as some want to call him, as your quarterback. Jones is not it. And I'm sorry, if I'm Brian Dable, or if I'm the owner of the Giants, you have to, I don't care if it's this draft or next draft, you have to draft a quarterback. Because I'm sorry, everybody was thinking the Giants' backup quarterbacks were going to be great. Tommy DeVito was going to be this great backup for Daniel Jones. He is not it either. Let's be real. The quarterbacks in the New York Giants organization right now is stinking up MetLife Stadium. Giants.
All right,
Draft a quarterback.
Stop talking about the Giants now. I'm in the back. I'm trying to mind my business. Stop talking about the Giants. We know these.
Hey, that man was on. He was on a roll. He was passionate about that. Like
that was our producer telling us to move it along here.
That was our producer telling us to move it along, but I had to break down this game because it's the truth, bro. It's the truth.
I'm trying to get in the back and be a nice production person and shit, and here you go. Oh yeah, the Giants, they stink. Man, fuck the Giants. And Kareem, fuck you. All right? Now I'm going back.
That was our producer, ladies and gentlemen.
That was our producer, ladies and gentlemen. I said Giants fans was going to hate me, and unfortunately, our producer is a Giants fan.
Oh, Lord.
Nothing we can do about that, but moving on to this game, like, what are your thoughts on the New York Giants and this massacre of Sam Darnold? And let me finish. Sam Darnold was the quarterback of the Vikings. He demolished that Giants defense. Fucking real football Giants.
Hey, honestly, I think you said it all, man. There's really nothing I can add to that. There's nothing at all I can add to that.
Chaos.
You ain't gonna have producer come back and go off of me next game.
Yeah. Let's go.
Next game, we had Caleb Williams. And Caleb Williams, let me get to him in a second. We had the number 1 draft pick, Caleb Williams, and the Chicago Bears taking on a very talented young Tennessee Titan football team.
Yeah.
The Bears defense stepped up, overcame the odds, and defeated the Titans with a score of 24-17. What are you guys' thoughts on this game?
So, the Bears have every weapon known to man surrounding Caleb Williams. They got a great young receiver in Roma Doomsday. They have backs tight. Like, man, every position on that offense is should be an all pro position. It's just about seeing if the young man is capable of taking his team and if he's really that guy. Because there's been plenty of people like Trevor Lawrence who was supposed to be that next Andrew Luck type guy, and it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you look at Caleb Williams and his play, and he can be great, regardless on him wearing the red dresses and all that. He can be great. Um, yeah, it's just, it has to be consistent. It has to be consistent, because I watched his off-season work, and everybody was glowing about this guy on how precise he was with the ball, on how he could flick the ball 70 yards down the field, on how he picks up the concepts and the ideas of the offense, on how he
Right.
commands the players around him. He seems to be a guy, but it was one game. And unfortunately, this is no diss to the Tennessee Titans, but it was the Titans, right? I know recently their defenses have been great because of Mike Vrabel,
Mm-hmm.
but that offense, man, Will Levis and it's kind of sketchy that. You know what I mean? So yeah, okay,
They
great.
miss Henry. They
You
miss
beat a
Henry. Let's just put
team.
it out there. They miss Henry.
Yes, you
Yes,
beat
they
a
did.
team that you were supposed to beat. Congratulations. Now go out there and do it again.
Before I move on from this topic, I have to ask this question. Do you guys, I know this is his first game and we haven't seen him play fully, but do you guys see the Chicago Bears as a playoff team this year?
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
yeah, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because looking at the NFC North, I feel like, and I'm about to piss a lot of people off. I
Yep.
feel like the only threats to us is Chicago because their offense is a hell of a lot better than what it's been in the last 3 seasons.
Yeah. Yeah. They
They
put
just
they
have a
put
few.
they
They just
put
have a few
everybody.
loose ends to tie up on their defense, and they're going to be a problem. They're going to be a problem.
They put everybody around this kid. And unfortunately for teams like the Vikings, they lost JJ McCarthy before the season even really started. You know what I
Which was a
mean?
heartbreaker for the Vikings fans.
Right. And like I
As well
said,
as us Michigan fans too.
Jordan Love is, he's not that guy. I'm sorry.
He's
The
not.
only other team really is the Lions. Um, and I think that Dan Campbell, he knows what the hell he's doing. He's a great. He was a tight end assistant with New Orleans, and now he's the head coach of the Lions, and they have been on a roll ever since he got there. Right? He's giving the Lions something to fight for, and that's something, and that's the only reason why I believe it's really between the Lions and the Bears in the North.
Hmm.
We're gonna get to the Detroit Lions as we move along. I have to give the Who Dat Nation credit for what they did. That Saints team this weekend decimated,
Yo,
destroyed, obliterated
yo.
the
You,
Carolina Panthers by a score of 47-10.
hey, you went on your spill. You
Damn!
went on your spill. Now it's time for me to go on mine. Okay.
Come on.
The New Orleans Saints. Nobody thought that the New Orleans Saints were going to do anything this year. I'm going to be honest and say that I was one of them. Derek Carr in this offense with Clint Kubiak in this offense, this is the offense that he needed. You had Alvin Kamara over 100 yards, all-purpose yards. You had Taysom Hill from the tight end position and running back position doing the damn thing. You had Chris Olave. He was quiet. He was only 2 for 11, but he was enough of a decoy to open it up. You had Rashid Shaheed on a 53-yard reception from Derek Carr. That was amazing. But we're not even talking about the offense. What we're gonna talk about is the defense because that defense
That
balled
Saints
the
defense.
hell out. Yo, Alante Taylor,
Get that man his flowers.
yo, a cornerback with 3 sacks on the game. You know what I'm saying? You had Tyrann Mathieu with a sack and a strip fumble recovery.
I know
Yo,
Chiefs fans are mad for letting Tyrann Mathieu go, but
bro,
continue.
Demario Davis, the leader, the heart and soul of that Saints defense, was balling. He was on every tackle. These guys played one hell of a game defensively. And okay, I'm gonna be the first to admit it was just Carolina. We all know how bad Carolina is. We all know the problems that they have.
That's why they drafted Bryce Young, but go ahead.
Step one
Ooh.
of being a great team is beating the teams that you're supposed to beat. Last year, there were so many teams that had backup quarterbacks in for one reason or another, and we lost to them. This is a step in the right direction. Who that nation? Let's go.
My brother, you got any thoughts?
That man said it all right there because you know what? The Saints are looking a lot better since since the departure of Drew Brees. I look for the Saints to be a contender in the South.
So do I. Moving on, we had going back to the AFC and the NFC in this game with the Pittsburgh Steelers upsetting this newly acquired quarterback in the Falcons and Kirk Cousins. I'm going to get at him right now, too. Kirk Cousins. Minnesota thought he was the man. He led them to a couple of playoff games. You got this dynamic receiver in Justin Jefferson. You had Adam Thielen on there, too.
Mm-hmm.
He departed. He left, went to Carolina. You do nothing with Minnesota. Now you go to a young Falcons team who has a running back in Bijan Robinson who I think is the future of the running backs in this league. That's going to be a problem.
Yep.
Let's put that out there. But
Bro,
Kirk Cousins is my problem because you are paying Kirk Cousins to do what for your football team?
I'm gonna tell you what they thought they were doing. They thought they were getting a quarterback that was gonna come in there and dominate. But see, where they messed up at, I'm gonna just be real, right? It's Atlanta. It's Atlanta. Atlanta could never do anything right. They went from Vic to Matt Ryan to Cousins, and neither one of them were ever going to win the Super Bowl. Why?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Because of management and because of everything that the Falcons do. They have everything surrounding Kirk Cousins. But what they failed to do is go and get a quarterback. They had Michael Penix sitting there, man. They drafted him at number 8. But if
Don't
they
don't
believed in
forget
him,
also.
if they believed in him, he would be starting. Right?
Right, but also don't forget also something Atlanta did. You let Tom come back and beat you in your house.
Yeah.
He said, man, Justin said, man, talk to me when the Saints actually play a real NFL team.
Oh,
Hey,
Wow,
okay.
shots
let me guess.
fired.
Hold on.
Wow.
Let me guess. Justin got to be a Falcons fan. He has to be a Falcons fan. And that's okay because we kicked your ass, 10 out of 12 times the last couple of years. So that's fine. Keep on with your nonsense, man.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Going to Pittsburgh.
Yep. Let's go
I
to
done
Pittsburgh.
gotten Kirk Cousins ass. Moving on to Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Steelers. You got 2 quarterbacks
Yep.
in Justin Fields and Russell Wilson.
Yep.
My question to you guys, moving forward, after this win, shout out to Steelers Nation, that defense won that game for them. But moving forward, in your quarterback room, moving forward in this season, who is your starting quarterback? Russell Wilson or Justin Fields?
Fields.
Oh,
Fields.
now, hold on. hold on that. I'm gonna tell you why I think Fields is in the right position that he's in. Fields is in that same position that Taysom Hill with the Saints is in, right? He runs those sweep options. He runs the read option pass. He can run with his feet. That's what they're using him as because that's what he mostly did in Chicago, right? Um, Russell Wilson, he has to get out of his own head, right? The reason he got
Agreed.
fired from Denver, and that's what he did. He got fired because he was trying to be in a realm of his own. When Sean Payton got there, this man had his own office up there with the coaches. Why? You're a player. You know what I'm saying? You're so busy trying to market yourself. Oh, Broncos country, let's ride. Dude, cut it out.
And he
You know
did
what I
nothing
mean?
for the Broncos, but go ahead.
You did nothing for the Broncos.
Nothing.
So you need to cut it out.
And this is a former NFL MVP, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking. I'm not just ragging about Russell Wilson because we don't like him. You are a former Super Bowl champion.
Yeah.
And you went to
I'm
this team and did nothing.
Look, man. This
Get
is
out of your
something.
head, Russell Wilson.
Look, he thinks by all purposes, his life is great. He married Sierra. He got babies by her. He's teaching young future and all this, what to do and all this. Look, man, that's all great and all. But when it comes to football, you have to block all that out. You have to block. No one wants to come and speak to team three when they need to speak to you. No, none of your teammates should call and get someone from team three answering the phone. You should be talking to your teammates. You know what I'm saying? That's
Right.
let
ridiculous,
me
bro.
let me just throw this in real quick. And I'm just gonna keep it 1,000. And Steeler Nation, much love, but I'm gonna tell you something. You wasted your money on Russell Wilson because I'm gonna tell you why.
Well, hey,
Russell
hold
could
up.
care, Russell. Hold on. Russell can care less right now because did he not get cashed out by Denver before he left?
Yes, he did.
They had to pay him. They had to pay him the rest of that contract, right? So let's
Yes,
Yes,
be
they
real
did.
here. So
yes.
so so here's the thousand. Here's the $1 million. Wilson really need to play football anymore? Let's be real. Does he really need to?
I I believe that's what he's trying. He wants to be one of those quarterbacks that gets that $60 million bag a year. You know what I'm saying? He's only getting paid minimum salary, 1 million, because he's still getting paid from Denver this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
but
that's
look how
look,
much Denver got to cash him out though.
yeah. But look, that's that.
Yeah,
Hey, look, one thing I know about Sean Payton. Sean Payton don't give a. You understand me?
he don't.
He
He
does
don't.
not
He
care
don't.
about anybody and what you
No.
think you are. If you're not producing, you're gone.
Yeah,
Right.
agreed. Agreed. So that's what made me ask that question. If does Mike Tomlin really need him? He's got multiple Clay and Justin Fields to adapt to his playbook, which Justin's going to be phenomenal at. Why would you need this old head who's getting paid the league minimum because he's still getting cashed out tens of millions from Denver? Do you really need to be in the game?
You really need
Go
to be in
ahead.
Pittsburgh.
Right. Do you really need to be there? Why not
You
just, you
really
know
need to
what?
be in Pittsburgh. I agree with that
Why not?
because
Yeah.
Why not
not to
do
cut you
what Tom
off,
did?
not to cut you off, I
Mhm.
feel that Justin's time in Chicago, he should have had more time there because of
Agreed.
the talent around him.
Yep.
Agreed.
Yep. Yep.
Not sleeping
Agreed.
on Caleb Williams,
Yep.
but we'll see what they do. These next two games, shout out to the people who watching. Much love to y'all. But these next two games, I have to talk about. Let's talk about it. Tyreek Hill
Mm,
and the Miami Dolphins.
mm.
After what happened to Tyreek Hill, coming back, defeating the Jacksonville Jaguars, a talented Jaguar team, and Trevor Lawrence, losing
Shout
by a
out to
field
Beast.
goal, 20-17. The Dolphins won.
Shout out to
Tyreek
Beast in
Hill,
Jacksonville.
the cheetah. I don't know if you guys saw the video. There's a video on
Yeah.
TMZ. There's a video on Twitter
Yeah.
of
I've seen it.
Tyreek Hill being detained by police.
Yeah.
They call this man cheetah. He's supposed to be one of the fastest wide receivers that we have ever seen play the game of football. To
I don't know.
see that video, seeing him get detained by police, then they released him just in time for him to play the game. And look at the numbers this man put up. The Dolphins, in my eyes, would have not won that game if that touchdown pass was not thrown to that man, Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, that's.
I agree. I agree.
The crazier thing is the police officer that arrested Tyreek Hill got fired. He got
I believe it.
Oh,
he got
oh,
dismissed.
they officially fired him.
Yes,
He's
Miami
gone.
PD
He's
fired him.
Cause
gone.
I heard,
He's
yeah,
out of there.
because the initial story I heard he got put on it. He got put on desk duty, pending an
Nah,
investigation. So they officially fired him today.
they fired him. Yes.
Mm.
The way that they
Well,
pulled Tyreek Hill out of his vehicle
yep.
and the way they put him on the ground detaining him, I knew that officer was going to lose his job that day.
Yeah.
And Tyreek was saying himself, just give me the ticket. Do what you have to do. I have a game to play. Let me go.
Well, they
If I
said
was
that.
speeding, do what you have to do. These cops nowadays, and I'm sorry that we have to talk about this because it's going on in all sports,
Yep.
especially the NFL,
Yep.
especially with our black players.
They're
The
claiming that
way
he
that
wouldn't
these
he would let down his
officers,
window.
the way that these police officers, just because you have a badge,
Yep.
treating these athletes the way that you are treating them, never mind athletes, the way that you're treating us as human beings is wrong. This man is a professional athlete. And the way that y'all pulled this man out of this vehicle was wrong.
Yep.
If you had to detain him and do your job, I'm not counting the cops out. You got some slime balls out there who don't deserve a badge. But that's another story. If you're going to do your job, do your job. You don't have to use force. You don't have to use aggression. It's a way to do things. And this is why people of my color and people of our color have a problem with the way police are detaining us.
Yep.
He's an athlete. We got to do better. Speak on it.
Absolutely.
And it's
Absolutely.
not just because he's an athlete. You know what I mean? Typically, and I really this is why it's a lot of questions because typically athletes, even if you're playing a home game, the night before y'all go to a hotel, the whole team. You know what I'm saying? And they go to the stadium. So I don't know what the whole situation was here or whatnot. But this man's face is on the side of the stadium, so you cannot say, "Oh, I didn't know who he was." You know what I mean? If you ask me, the guy probably had a bet against him. You know what I mean? That's probably what it was. But it's yeah, man, it's absolutely ridiculous. And there's no room for that anywhere.
What concerns me about the entire ordeal is that they're claiming that he wouldn't let down his window. Okay, that's neither here nor there. The bottom line is what I saw I believe it was Dade County Sheriff's, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
Miami-Dade. Yep.
Okay, so Miami-Dade pulled him over. They said he was speeding, reckless driving, whatever the case may be. The one piece of the footage that I did see was that the officer who I believe lost his job today, he was the one that pretty much forced Tyreek down on the ground, that was very uncalled for. Number
Yep.
one. Number two, why was it at least if my count is off, please forgive me. I believe I saw six, seven, maybe eight officers trying to detain Tyreek Hill, and I'm like, Tyreek Hill is barely 200 pounds. So it took all of you to pull him out the car, force him on the ground, detain him for a speeding ticket,
Yeah.
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. Okay. My problem with that entire ordeal was all I saw was white faces and one football player on the ground. And from what I understand, like I'm seeing conversation, laughter, talking. I'm sorry, what's funny about this?
Yep.
What's funny about this? Because y'all feel like we got this $1 million, I won't say the word, but we got this $1 million
Hmm.
on the ground here. He's at our mercy. We barely make $45,000 a year. This guy can spend our annual salary at lunch. So yeah,
Yep.
we're gonna, we're gonna humiliate him. No, what you did was you pissed him off to the point to where he came into that game and had the game of his life.
Yes, he did.
That's what you did.
Yes, he did.
That's what you did. Because the bottom line is, no matter no matter what you say, no matter what you do, at the end of the day, we are going to go in there, be professional, and do what we do. As far as the police matter is concerned, Tyreek Hill has a bona fide lawsuit against the Miami-Dade Police Department.
Yes, it does.
My boy Kareem says Plaxico Burns' fault. Plax shot himself in the foot. This is different from that. We love you, Plax, though. But next game, we're gonna stay in the AFC where two talented quarterbacks in my eyes, and CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson
Yo.
put on the game of their lives. But the Texans, the newly acquired Texans, with Stephon Diggs, winning a close one by the score of 29-27. What are y'all thoughts on this nail biter right here?
Man,
This is
listen.
going to be a problem.
Listen. CJ Stroud is everything that Deshaun Watson was supposed to be.
And this is his second year, ladies and gentlemen. And his second year.
Yes. Yes. He is everything that Deshaun Watson was supposed to be. This man balls out. He has his faith in God. He does everything the right way. You know what I mean? And it's incredible how when he says things, they try to like cut it out. You know what I mean? Like they interviewed him after a game and he was like, yeah, I believe in God and thank God and blah blah blah. And they cut that part out and just like put the little clip of him answering the question that they asked him. And I was like,
Right.
that's crazy. That is so crazy. You know what I mean?
My boy John, he said that game was crazy. Yes, it was. It was a nail biter, man.
Yeah. And look, man, if he can go toe to toe, it's like levels to this, right? You go toe to toe with a guy that's on your level, like Anthony Richardson. Then you go toe to toe with maybe like a Kirk Cousins, and then you get up there and you go toe to toe with Patrick Mahomes. That is the level, and if he continues on the projection that he is on, CJ Stroud's going to be one hell of a quarterback.
Chaos, what's your thoughts, bro?
I'm going to coin the phrase, Houston, we're going to have a problem. Because in the AFC, because they are coming, man. CJ, why do I see Donovan McNabb and CJ?
I don't know.
I see a Donovan McNabb in the making.
A little bit. I see it too, but a little bit. Moving on. Dallas. The Dallas Cowboys. With the newly acquired man signing a big contract in Dak Prescott, you bring back the boys and Dak and CD, and you beat, I'm not going to say beat, you destroyed the Cleveland Browns 33-17. Let me get on Dak Prescott and these Dallas Cowboys. Ladies and gentlemen, since Dak Prescott, and correct me if I'm wrong, since Dak Prescott got his money, got his bag, what has he done for Dallas?
Absolutely jack shit.
Broke his ankle?
Absolutely fucking nothing. Excuse my language. I have to speak my mind. I gotta be real. I wouldn't be me if I wasn't real.
He broke his ankle.
Jerry Jones, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? And I say that because you bring back Zeke when you had him.
Yep.
You wait until the season starts.
Yep.
To sign a talented receiver in my eyes in CeeDee Lamb.
Yep.
The boy is bad. Here's my problem with Dallas. I don't give a fuck how many games you win during the season. You could be 12-4 if all I care. The problem with Dallas is the playoffs. Can they win that big one? And you
No.
pay this man
No.
all this money, and he hasn't won the big one yet. So you think about, oh, let me pay him some more. Let me keep him for like 5 more years. You think this man is it now? Y'all was saying for years.
Let me.
Believe in Dak. In Dak we trust.
No.
Bullshit.
All right.
Bullshit.
Let me break this down for a second. The
You
reason.
about to have a lot of pissed off Cowboy fans in a minute.
I don't give a fuck. Listen, the reason Jerry Jones acts like it doesn't matter, he just pays this money, because let's all be real here. Dak Prescott is not a top 10 quarterback. I can
He's
name
not.
10 quarterbacks right now better than Dak Prescott, but yet he's the highest paid in the NFL. Why? Because it's America's team, because it's the branding, because he has to have the highest paid to make it look like he's doing what he's supposed to do. Absolutely jack shit. The reason the Cowboys are always, the reason they talk about, oh, we got 5 rings and all this other shit, because in the 90s there was no salary cap.
No.
Ever since
That's
there was a salary cap
right.
where you can't just spend endless amounts of money on motherfuckers, now you can't do shit. So that brings me back to CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. Do you understand that 22% of their salary cap goes to 2 players? So that means you have 51 other guys that you have to sign with 79% or 78% of your salary cap. How smart is that?
My brother Chaos, any thoughts?
Ooh, Jerry love paying for his steel hands, don't he? You pay a top dollar. You paying top dollar for a quarterback you feel like is America's quarterback. The only thing that Dak Prescott has done successfully since getting all this money from Massacana has been break his ankle on live TV and try to
Yeah,
fix his damn ankle to try to keep playing.
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you
There
like
you go.
this. I'm gonna tell you like this. It's
Speak
sad as
your truth.
hell. It's sad as hell to me that you are willing to get rid of coaches, i.e., your son-in-law, but
Mm-hmm.
you still want to keep paying this
Mm-hmm.
hack you call a quarterback.
But look,
I don't,
Seriously,
Tory,
here's the
because
same thing, bro.
dude, hold
My
on.
brother Tory says, I feel worse for Dallas than I do the Falcons. I don't,
Listen,
because you have
listen.
an owner in Jerry Jones who
Yeah.
knows what the hell he's doing. You got the talent around you. Look at the defense. Look at Dallas's defense. You got
Yep.
Lawrence. You got Parsons. You got talent on your defense.
Yep.
Your defense, if your defense didn't win you a championship last year, what makes you think they're going to do it this year?
Bro, the
Or
problem
or
the problem
or
is he's a person of habit. Look at how he did with Tony Romo. Tony Romo was never that dude, bro. He was
Ever.
never that guy.
Never. Never.
But he paid him like he was that guy.
nah, hold on. Hold on. Didn't they beg Ezekiel to come back?
Yes.
Yes.
That tells you everything you need to know about the Dallas Cowboys.
Bro, it's a marketing ploy. That's it. They want to have good names so they can sell jerseys and sell tickets and tell everybody, oh, look, it's Jerryland. We have this restaurant and this club and all these hotels, and that's what
And
it's about
Jerry
for them.
and
It
Jerry
is
don't like
not
none of y'all.
about winning
None of y'all.
football. It's not
Jerry
about
don't like
winning
none of
football.
y'all.
Disappointed in Dallas. Moving on to Sunday night, the overtime game. A thriller. The rivalry of the NFC to me. We had the Los Angeles Rams going against, in my eyes, a very talented team in Detroit. I like what they're doing with them boys in Detroit. I like the acquisitions in Detroit. Let's talk about it, Detroit Lions. We're going to start with the man from Detroit himself, my brother Chaos.
Bottom line
What
is
did you like
this.
about this game?
I loved everything about this game. The only drawbacks that I had watching this game on Sunday night was I need Jared Goff to calm down. If a couple of passes don't go in your direction, get out your head, get out your feelings, take a deep breath, and regroup. As far as my running backs are concerned, Gibbs, that boy there, man, Gibbs scares me, and I'm gonna tell you why Gibbs scares me because it is uncanny how he either finds holes or finds a way to not get grabbed on. Okay,
Right.
um, my wide receivers, we did pretty good. Nose Sam Laporta, second season man, I love that kid. That kid's on my fantasy league. He's on my fantasy league last year. It's like everything is coming together. Aaron Glenn needs to work a little bit more with the defense and the secondary because those new corners, yes, they're new corners, they rookies. You got them. You got to reel them in. You got to get them together because, see, I'm gonna tell you something. Aiden Hutchinson reminds me of Ronnie Lott. That boy's gonna be a headhunter.
Yes.
As he gets
Yes.
better, he's going to be a headhunter. He knocked
Yes, he
Stafford
is.
down on his ass a couple of times, and I'm gonna give Matthew Stafford, or as I used to call him, Matthew Staxford. I'm gonna give him his flowers on something. He is still as good as he was when he was here. I will give him
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, that game and me. I'm a sports fan. Granted, I'm diehard Lions. I'm diehard Detroit, but I'm also a sports fan. I love a good game. That was a
Yes.
hell of a game.
Yes,
That
it
game could
was.
have went either way. And
Yes,
shout
it
out
could
to
have.
David Montgomery. David Montgomery. They
David
brought him
Montgomery
in.
is a problem.
Yeah, they brought him in to do cleanup, and boy, did he clean up.
Boy, did he ever. And I agree with
Yeah,
you. Going back to Jared Goff, I agree with what you have to say about Jared Goff. Jared Goff, to me, is a talented quarterback, but you have to take your time. That's something wrong with most of these quarterbacks. Relax, take your time,
trust your
be
line.
patient.
Trust your line.
Like Jaden Daniels. Like Jaden Daniels. Let me get on Washington. They played
Hmm.
the Bucks. It wasn't a
Hmm.
great game for Jaden Daniels, but I saw a lot of potential in Jaden Daniels.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Washington didn't get it done, but there's talent there. And
Yeah,
if
when
you guys just be patient with these kids coming into the
exactly,
NFL,
exactly.
sky's the limit.
Think about it. These first 3 or 4 weeks, they're getting their feet wet. They're
Right.
getting their feet wet. Now, with most of these quarterbacks, what I need them to do, trust your line. If you think something's wrong with the front four, and you feeling like okay, it's not enough coverage, what you do is when the defense is out there and you guys on the sideline, pull everybody into a huddle like Tom used to do. Pull everybody in a huddle. I ain't gonna say cuss them out, but let them know like, hey, look, they getting me a little bit too quick. If you cannot trust your offensive line, you'll be like Lamar Jackson, running every damn
You'll be
down.
like Lamar Jackson and Daniel Jones,
Exactly, running every damn down, and you
running
can't
every
trust
damn
your
time.
line, and then you mess around and you break a leg, crack an ankle, tear your MCL, Jordan.
And you're out
So
for a
it
season.
so it's this is gonna be this is going like this podcast. This is going to be, I think, one of the best years of football that we're gonna watch. Honestly.
Indeed. 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 Moving on to the last game
Oof.
of week one. We
Oof.
had the returning, and I know some Jet fans will be mad at me too. I'm a Jet fan myself, but I call it like I see it. We had the returning Aaron Rodgers and the New York
Uh,
Jets going against the reigning defending champions in the NFC and the San Francisco 49ers.
and
San Francisco. San Francisco's defense. I'm not going to say so much their offense because that run, even though they running back was doing their thing, that San Francisco defense won that football game for that team.
sure the hell did.
That defense was hungry. They were focused, and they wanted to. And let's call it what it is. They ruined Rodgers' return. Right? Everybody had high hopes for Rodgers this year after tearing his ACL last year. Oh, Rodgers is going to bring us a championship. It's too early. It is too early, and I'm a Jets fan. We have talent on both sides of the football. Yeah. We have a great running back in Breece Hall. I love Breece Hall.
Absolutely.
That boy right there, he's a problem.
On paper,
and we have a talented receiver in Garrett Wilson. That boy is bad.
On paper, y'all supposed to win the NFC East. I mean, the AFC East on paper. Because y'all got a squad.
And that's where most football fans fail to realize. Now, you can have talent on paper, but when you go out on that field, it is a different story.
That execution.
It is a different story. Any team, it could be the trashiest team in the NFL. Any team could beat you on any given Sunday.
Yep.
So I do not count out any team in NFL, even if you're a favorite or underdog.
That's right.
Unfortunately for the Jets, Monday night wasn't their night.
Oh, Jesus. No, it wasn't. No. I don't know what got into Brock Purdy, but yikes.
My boy Tony said, hey, look here, players. They hitting them corners a little bit too damn hard. Almost made me spill my yak.
All right, Pinky.
I agree with that. Some of these football players, man, I mean, in this game, like I said, and San Francisco did this without one of their top players in Christian McCaffrey. They had a secondary running back come in. McCaffrey was out that game. What? They had a rookie come in and dominate them running for over 100 yards. Jets defense, Robert Saleh. You're a defensive-minded coach. I get that. Get it together. Y'all got the Titans next week in week 2. Hopefully, y'all play a little better. But this game on Monday night was a disaster.
But also, you got to factor in this. You can't sleep on Kyle Shanahan.
Oh, no.
You can't sleep because, you remember who his father was.
To me, this season, Kyle Shanahan, being the fact that they were in the Super Bowl last year, I believe that the San Francisco 49ers, they could go back. But
they could.
Yeah, look at the changes in the NFC. You now have the Eagles as a threat. You got Detroit Lions as a threat. I'm not going to put the Falcons as a threat yet because I haven't seen nothing yet in Kirk Cousins. Tampa Bay, y'all good, but not good enough to hang with a team like Detroit or a team like San Francisco. And like I said, Dallas, you guys just can't escape the big one. You have a chance every year, and you believe in this quarterback in Dak Prescott, who y'all just paid, to do nothing for y'all.
They need to go ahead and bring Jimmy back and be head coach.
To me, right now, the NFC, it's between Detroit and San Francisco. Who wants it more?
And I'm going to tell you, that NFC championship last season, that second half collapse, man. Woo.
You don't think Dan Quinn is looking at that and going back to that video and showing them players? You guys played amazing that first half. But you let it slip.
Dan Campbell. I love Dan Campbell. Don't get me wrong. I love Dan Campbell. Dan
Campbell is a genius coach, but go ahead.
One thing I need Dan not to do this season. Take the cockiness out your coaching. And what I mean by that, if you have a chance to either win the game or tie the game, and you right there for the 3, take the 3. You don't need 6 all the time. Take the 3. See, in that game with Frisco in the championship last year, He made those cardinal sin errors right there.
Yes, he did.
Because technically, we could have won the game 5-3 had he went for the 3. So I just need Dan to take the cockiness out of his coaching. Now, if it's somebody like, no disrespect, Carolina, who's like 2-13, if you want to do like some little play stuff, because you know it's gonna throw off their defense, fine. But when you are one door away from this season, if you are one play away from heading to New Orleans, take the cockiness out your coach.
Take your time.
That's simple. Take your time.
Take your time.
If 3 is available, take the 3. For real. Because see, this season,
Well, folks, that was a wrap up of week 1 of the NFL. Join me and my brothers next week as we cover week 2 of the NFL. I want to thank my viewers for vibing with your boy, my brother Chaos, my brother from another mother.
oh,
I will hope y'all take care of y'all physical, y'all mental, y'all emotional, all that. Stay blessed. God is good all the time, all the time. God is good. Until next week, my friends, we out.